Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the GDQ Hotfix, presenting day 2 of West Coast Weekend, the marathon showcasing speedrunning talent of the West Coast. My name is SmoothOperative, and I will once again be your West Coast host for the afternoon. We've got an awesome lineup for you today, starting with the fan favorite Untitled Goose game, and I've seen a few honks in the chat already. Joining me right now is speedrunner Thundar001. Welcome, Thundar. Are you ready to set the goose loose?
Oh, yeah, I am ready to set this goose loose. I don't know if this town is, but I'm sure ready.
Well, I guess they're in for a surprise then.
Oh, dear, they are.
So whenever you are ready to start the countdown, we are ready to get it going.
Alrighty, so, chat, if you could help me out with this, I think we all know what the magic go word is for this game. So, counting down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, honk.
Honk.
And so it begins. Oh, the chaos that's about to occur. So this is all main tasks. So what all main tasks will be doing is completing about 31 of the tasks that are visible before reaching the end of the game. So we can not worry about hidden tasks or the quick tasks. By the way, this goose is really good at squeezing through fences. So we're going to make use of that, but not too much. A lot of this game is actually based on just manipulating RNG and AI manipulation. And we're going to see this with our friend Willie right here. So he's immediately getting aggroed by the radio. And this is good because we can go off and set a path for him for a task later on. He's going to go and try to control some of the chaos we cause, but that will allow us to get some of the gathering task of getting a picnic together completed. Luckily, unfortunately, Willie didn't decide to yeet the mulch, but fortunately for the speed run, he didn't decide to yeet the mulch. It can be quite detrimental. Anyway, so this game has a lot of RNG, so we're going to have to do a lot of setups and just trying to kind of babysit the AI and herd them into a certain area. We'll see where Willie decides to place himself, because he can just go off and stare off into the distance, and that's never good RNG. But he's going for the terracotta pot, so that's perfect. And why this is perfect is because we need him to see that we stole the jam. We also need him to see that we stole this pumpkin. Because NPCs, once they see something is missing or out of place, they will have that as a priority to check on and process that they no longer have that item, which can actually cause a bit of trouble if we don't get that done in certain aspects of this game. So luckily he's going to go off, check the pumpkin, and that will allow us to just go through freely and get most of the picnic set up. Now we can begin round 2 of Garden Chaos, which Willie decided to go to the right side. That is an unfortunate situation Willie decided to do. But we're going to begin distracting him and pulling a sleight of hand trick on Willie. So we're going to cause him to get distracted by turning on water, and suddenly the goose and the thermos just disappear without a trace. It's just an absolute magic trick. And you can actually do this through a lot of NPCs, just having them distracted and getting away with something that you need. And unfortunately for Willie, he is now at goose level, and we all know what happens at goose level. You get your hat stolen, you get your glasses stolen. It's never a fun time if you get down to the goose level. And this is the first case where it's actually fortunate that he has processed that the jam and the pumpkin are taken. Because if he didn't, he would turn around and it'd be a very awkward moment just taking the rake behind him, and it would not be a fun time. But with that, we actually completed the picnic, and that actually completes the 5th task for this area. And when you complete the 5th task for an area, off on the bottom left, you'll see that it set off the final task. And of course we get rake in the lake, because you gotta get rake in the lake in these runs, otherwise it's not really a run. You gotta have rake in the lake. But anyway, so we now have the final task completed. So say goodbye to Willie, say goodbye to Garden. Goodbye, Willie. Show off our wings. By the way, there is an emote in chat called GDQ Wings. Be sure to show those off in all glory. And we are now in High Street. High Street is unbelievably fast in this game. There's so many things we do so very quickly, and it all starts with poor Timmy right there. However, we're not done with Timmy. Timmy's going to have a very bad day, essentially, and Shopkeeper decided to have bad RNG too, but it's all fine. So Timmy's going to go deal with getting himself rescued out of the telephone booth, which means we can knock a couple things out and distract the Shopkeeper. We want her to be distracted so that she doesn't follow us and also sets herself up for the right position later. We're also going to get on TV without actually being on TV. And unfortunately for Timmy as well, he was now at Goose level, so we know what happens. And we still need him. This poor child is having a very rough day, but he is going to serve a very important purpose just right here. So he sees that his plane is bought on the store shelf, so he's going to begin negotiations to buy back his own item. And that is perfect for us because that can allow us to just go around the shop right here without any problems or harassment from the shopkeeper. Because if you do this normally, she'll harass you and she'll take items back and it's not fun, and it's just a bunch of chaos caused for you instead of them. And we want chaos for them, not us. So Timmy served his purpose, so now we just need to bring the shopkeeper over a bit and get one more item. Even though we're going shopping, didn't say where we can get a toothbrush, so I hope they don't mind, whoever's shopping doesn't mind us with a trash toothbrush. So here, we're now done with Shopkeeper and practically done with High Street. So yeah, already, High Street's practically done. We just need to deliver this TP and we are good on High Street and we can mosey on over to Back Garden. But first we need to take these View Masters because they're going to serve an important purpose for Back Garden. Hello, Shopkeeper. How are you? So she's not aggroing us because she's so focused on the garage. So this is one of the few times you can have an item of hers and just wave it in front of her face and she won't care. Any other time she'll chase you to the ends of the earth. But with that, we can celebrate with some glorious wings and bust into the Back Garden where we meet Roger and Tina. So Roger is a very heavy component in terms of having a cycle. So his cycle pretty much composes of reading a newspaper and drinking some Yorkshire tea. So we can cut this time down of his cycle by just taking his paper so he just pouts about not reading a newspaper. It's absolutely perfect. By the way, you can just click through items through the fence, no big deal. And we are going to begin setting up for dressing the bus. An important note for dressing a bus, whether speedrunning or casual, is that be sure to just place the items on the grass. Be very cautious about placing items on that plate right there, as there's a tendency every so often where Tina will ignore an item on the plate and just not complete the task. This is absolutely devastating and 100%. But like that, we are setting up to become a fabulous goose. We just need to remove that statue of indeterminate species out of our way, and we shall become very fabulous. One thing you can do to speed up some of the priorities that an NPC have is just by bumping into them a couple times. So that just helps us save just a couple seconds. We did miss T's cycle with Roger. That's fine. He's just pouting about his paper. It won't take too long before, once again, he is drinking some tea. And just like that, we met the cycle. But now it's a little bit interesting since Tina was a little more ahead than I would have liked her to be. This is fine. Everything will be going... Oh, there we go. We have to become... Unfortunately, we have to lose the bow because as much as we are a fabulous goose with it, it will lose us some time with Roger later on. So we just want to make sure that is all off. Tina has decided to come down here a little bit sooner than expected, but she's no match for a speed goose. However, she is going to try to put up the gate, which is her #1 priority. So we can honk away to keep her distracted in the meantime. And of course, by way to complete the task and then just dunking it all in the fountain over here. We did miss a cycle with Roger, unfortunately, but once again, the pouty cycle is always a very quick cycle, so we can get through it fairly quick. And once again, he's there. We're just going to show him our butt though. So if you have Tastic, definitely put that in chat. If you turn around to an NPC like you're not going to, like you're going to run away from them, they will turn their back and just go about their business as usual. So that's just a great way to get NPCs to stop staring at you. And now comes a very different strat where we reset the area. Don't worry, we got the task, and I can prove that later on when we review the list. But resetting the area actually makes things a bit easier for us. So normally you'd have to lure Tina over, have her draw on a panel and pop it off so we can get through. And we also have to get this vase, which can be quite awkward, but resetting the area just gets rid of the panel already and we can walk through without a problem. Of course, mandatory honking through that house. It is required, at least by me. And like that, we are done with back garden, and we are now on to the pub. So pub is a bit notorious. Gardens at the very start is notorious for resetting runs. This area is notorious for ending PBs. And Vinny is not cooperating and Puckskill decided to move. It's very unfortunate RNG and oh boy, so we're just gonna let him tie his shoe. Normally you can get through there, but Vinny knew this was being showcased at an event, so he wanted to cause a bit problems. We're gonna show our wings off to these two lovely ladies. Awesome people, they're the best NPCs in this game. They are the nicest, they are the kindest, they even give you a flower. They are by default the most awesome NPCs. And even though Old Man noticed us, he made the mistake of turning back on a goose. You never turn your back on a goose. Which leads us to the deck, where we're going to have to face Pub Lady. Pub Lady is an absolute force to be reckoned with. The joke is you can pretty much she can be a linebacker for a football team. She is that good at just getting any opponent away from the area without problem. So we're going to have to do a bit of maneuvering or have just really good RNG so we don't deal with her. This is unbelievably fortunate RNG because normally she'd be over here and we'd have to do some dancing between the tables, but this is a very special circumstance where she was so occupied on the right side where we didn't have to worry about her. And just like that, we no longer need to be on the deck. We can get right out of here. Noticing on the bottom left, Old Man is going for harmonica. We still have to do one thing with them, but it's not the harmonica cycle. So we can just go about and get a nice table set up, put in quotes, nice, set up for one of the tasks. I honestly don't think you could ever get away with this kind of setup in real life. Everyone would always say that this is not how you set a table, but we're a goose and we goose by our own rules. And now we have Dart Cycle, which means we no longer have to deal with Old Man. So Old Man is done. We still have one task before the final one unlocks, and that already is approaching the very end of the game. This game goes by incredibly quick. It is a very short game, and any percentage just even shorter. About, I don't know, it's like 2 minutes long. It's that short. All right, so final task is completed. Now we're going to intentionally aggro Pub Lady. We just want her to move a bit faster and also get down these steps so she does animations a bit quicker and gets the sign. And Box Girl is already completing a different cycle, so we don't have to worry about her. She can just stand in the middle of the fence, and it's an absolute problem because no one can move her out of the way. So it's very fortunate she's just walking away. Also, shout outs to Phil Trout. More tomatoes is better. I don't know if it's actually better in speedrun, but it's definitely better in general. No need to worry about Pub Lady. She's going to lose us immediately, even though she saw us. And with that, we come upon the scariest task that we need to do. So we have to get this pint glass into the river. And what makes it scary is that if I drop the glass right now, it will shatter. But we have a safety strat for this. So for the safety strat, you can just crane your neck down. If you drop the glass or get bumped, hopefully he doesn't bump me. Okay, he did bump me. Normally it would shatter, but with it just lowered so far because of your neck crane, it doesn't shatter. And that's really good in speedrun because we don't have to fetch another glass. And we are now in the model village. All the main areas are complete, so we just need to wrap this up and get the bell. And we're going to use the model version of Timmy to do this. And we're going to do a rather unique way of getting the bell and just use Timmy to climb up the castle and get the bell, which begins the infamous bell return sequence. And if you're unfamiliar with the bell return sequence, you have to go through all the areas in reverse and deal with very aggressive NPCs. However, if you remember at the very beginning, this goose is really good at squeezing through fences and gates. So we're just going to squeeze right through the gate. And we're back at the main starting point. That saves 2 minutes of time right there and some headaches. And we're back at the start just like that. We can ring and we can celebrate all we want as we're about to approach the very end. Just before we get there, let's just do a quick check, make sure we have everything. See, this is garden. We have knocked out everything in garden. We have crossed everything out for High Street. We have completed back garden as well. And pub is good to go, and which means we just have take this all the way back home, which is what we're doing. As soon as this bell hits the bottom of the pit, that will be time. So coming up right now, and time. And we took the bell all the way back home to our glorious stash. And that
Well
is
done.
all main tasks. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think
want to give... Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, I think if anyone blinked, they would have missed that run. Very, very good job, Thundar. Yeah, if you want to give any shout outs, by all means. I just am so impressed.
Shout out time. Like, shout outs to the Goose Game speedrun community. I've never met so many awesome and just kind people. There's just so many people. Rowan, Zeko, Uro, Reek, Laika. There's so many people that have been contributed so much and been so amazing in the community through creating an auto splitter, finding glitches, routes. There's just absolute shout out to the Goose Game community. And if you ever want to pick this game up, we do have a speedrun.com leaderboard, and on that page too, we have the Discord. And we also have our own dedicated honk channel, so that's a good reason too. But I want to give absolute huge mad props and shout outs to Tasselfoot. Tasselfoot is an absolutely amazing person. He's been running this game, and the developers think so too, because he's in the credits right in front of our face. Right there is Tasselfoot below Sophie and above Terry. He has done so much for this community and so much for the speedrunning community. He's been here day one routing, finding glitches. He's also helped communicate between the community itself and the developers. And he's done so much. And he also got me into speedrunning this game. And I cannot thank him enough for that. Whether intentional or unintentional, I still cannot thank him enough for all that he's done for me and the community. And I also want to thank the Hotfix staff. You guys are absolutely awesome and have made this process super smooth and have put on a really, really good mini marathon so far, and just awesome content in general. So thank you guys so much.
Aw, well, thank you so much, Thundar. Gosh, that was beautiful, honestly. And please, if you enjoyed this speedrun, make sure you follow Thundar here on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Thundar001. I followed, you should too. So
oh, you're too kind.
it was a great run. It was really well done.
Thank you.
But thank you so much for your run, Thundar. Up next, everybody, we have Star Fox Command, so stick around.